Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Still few are left.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. One question I gave you yesterday to find the difference
ma'am.
between breathing and respiration.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the point we already discussed, right? So any more points?
Ma'am, there's no release of energy.
There is
No release of energy
in,
in breathing.
okay,
And there is a release of energy in respiration.
okay,
And ma'am, in breathing, it is a voluntary process.
fine.
And respiration is involuntary process.
Respiration is involuntary process. Okay,
Ma'am, breathing is like a physical change and respiration is like a chemical change.
great, good points. More? Adrit?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you like repeat the question? I joined late.
Okay. Who else? Sritij, did you tell any point?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Breathing and respiration difference.
Ma'am, while like in respiration, it like releases energy and it helps in the breaking down of food. And breathing is a part of respiration in which the exchange of gases occurs.
Okay. Fine. So let's write these pointers. Make a tabular form, make a table, and start writing the difference of breathing and respiration. Yeah, make the tabular form.
Breathing is a physical change.
Breathing is a
Physical change.
yeah.
And respiration is a chemical change.
Yeah. Basically, or you can write respiration is a biochemical process where breathing can be called physical also or mechanical process. So write the first point, this only. Breathing is a physical or mechanical process. You can write physical also, or you can write mechanical also. And same point of respiration, it is a biochemical process. One uses energy. Breathing uses energy.
Ma'am, breathing uses energy and respiration produces energy.
Yeah.
Ma'am, and every living organisms needs respiration.
Enzymes are not required in this process.
Yes.
Whereas in respiration, several enzymes are required.
Like what are enzymes?
Just telling.
Ma'am?
Just telling. For many of the chemical reactions, presence of one or the other substances is mandatory. For example, process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place in a green pigment, chloroplast. Okay? And basically the exchange of gases is through stomata. So they need nutrients from the soil, they take water. But presence of sunlight is mandatory. Got it? If the sunlight is not present, then the leaves would not grow as per the same rate. Or after a few days, you will observe that they are dead. So here sunlight's presence is like acting like an enzyme for the photosynthesis. If our stomach stops producing the hydrochloric acid, our food will not no more be digested properly. Okay, so one or the other enzymes are necessary to carry out the process, the chemical process or the reactions. So enzymes are the substances whose presence is required for any chemical reaction to be carried out.
Okay, ma'am. Enzymes can be only be liquid, right?
Pardon?
Enzymes are only liquid, right?
Only liquid. In most of the cases, it is observed they are liquid, but not necessary.
Okay. Ma'am, so bile juice is an enzyme, right?
Which?
Bile juice.
Bile juice. Yeah, bile juice is a type of enzyme. Bile juice is produced, secreted in
Ma'am, liver.
And pancreas also release any enzyme?
Ma'am, gallbladder.
Ma'am, pancreatic juice.
Pancreatic juice. Correct.
Yes. Ma'am, bile is also released in gallbladder.
Hmm. Mm, yeah. Next point, write down. In breathing, only few of the parts takes place, like nostril, nasal passage, windpipe, and lungs. After that, there is no role in the of any other organ in breathing. Whereas when respiration takes place, because it is the release of energy, so every body part needs that. So almost each and every organ takes part in respiration. Fourth point, write down. Few organs take part in breathing. Few organs take part in breathing, whereas almost each and every part. Next, we can write, because respiration only needs the involvement of cells, whereas breathing do not require the involvement of cell. So it is an extracellular process. Breathing is an extracellular process, whereas respiration is an, you can say it is extracellular and it is intracellular, both. Because once the energy is obtained inside the cell, that energy is to be get absorbed by the every body part to um, perform, to consume that energy. So that's why.
Ma'am, like, can you say what is extracellular and cellular process?
Cellular means involvement of cells, and extracellular means outside the cell if something is happening, and inside the cell if something is happening, then it is said to be intracellular.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, what is after both extracellular and
That's all.
okay.
Noted, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's move to the next topic. Oh.
Ma'am, can you show once?
I stopped sharing. It was on whiteboard. I'll try if it is retained there. Hold on. You tell me which point is left. The students can help you.
My last point.
Last point, breathing, is it an extracellular process?
Ma'am, respiration.
Respiration both cellular and
Intracellular.
intracellular.
Extracellular and
intracellular. I think we wrote this yesterday, cellular respiration, along with the equation. Children, please confirm if we wrote this yesterday. 7th class.
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
no, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am. We are only done with respiration in animals. That slide.
On whiteboard, I explained the cellular respiration, I guess. No? Okay, if anyone has missed, I remember we did that. If anyone has missed, please note it down quickly. So cellular respiration is we breathe out air which is rich in carbon dioxide, and the air we breathe in is transported to all parts of body, that is oxygen, and ultimately to each cell. Now, what happens inside the cell? The process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. And it takes place in the cells of almost all the organisms. All living beings undergo cellular respiration. So whatever food they intake, the formula is written, it is glucose. When it is combined with the oxygen that we human beings intake, then energy is released during the reaction, and as a waste product we give off carbon dioxide in water. So if you write, you can write energy here in product also, or you can write on the arrow, both are fine.
This type of respiration. Aerobic respiration is needed by many processes in our body to run properly. Muscle contraction, such as in limbs, cardiac, and peristaltic motion, need ATP generated through respiration as their fuel. Formation of peptide bonds.
Is it done?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Ma'am, just a minute.
No, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, one second.
Ma'am, 1 second.
Can you give me a minute? I'll get my charger.
Okay. This I explained you yesterday, cellular respiration. Now, next come the types of respiration. Why there are types of respiration? If we have noticed that respiration is just the conversion of glucose into energy for our tasks performed. So why there are types of respiration? As all the organisms undergo respiration. Okay. Basically, there are two types. We intake oxygen and we give off carbon dioxide. See, if like right now I'm just sitting and speaking, you people are writing or listening. Uh, our mothers must be busy in the kitchen, or whosoever is just doing the normal task where not much energy is required. Then our body cells undergoes aerobic respiration. So with this word aerobic, you can just remember presence of air or presence of oxygen. The process of respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen. Three words are important. Presence of oxygen is basically mean aerobic respiration, in which glucose breaks into carbon dioxide and water with the release of energy. Three byproducts we have: carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And it takes place in most of the organisms. We'll see later on how many organisms undergo aerobic respiration. That's the general equation. Okay. Now, what is anaerobic? See, now let's take an example. Suppose you are climbing the stairs and you are moving so fast. Okay. Or let's say you are running. You have a target of let's covering 2 kilometer in 20 minutes. Okay. So means you, because you want to win, then you will be running so fast. And after you ends, you will be breathing like, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Why after a heavy exercise, why after running, or why after any work which needs a lot of energy, we start breathing faster, our breath rate increases. Have you ever thought why? Tell me.
Ma'am, because
Because our body needs more energy.
the energy levels, like we need more energy and the oxygen is limited.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Because the task we are performing requires more energy, but our body has a fixed rate of performing that equation, carrying out that equation and getting energy from it. Although oxygen molecules will be getting from breathing, so that's why we try to breathe faster and faster so that we can get more oxygen and we get more energy output. But still it happens that we have a limited supply of oxygen. In that case, our body also undergoes respiration without the presence of oxygen. And if such happens, then after a while, after a few hours or few days, we feel muscle cramps, right? So why it is so? Because that time, like few days ago, when I was performing such task, the I was also breathing faster. That means the respiration at that particular instant of time was not aerobic, but it took place in the absence of oxygen. It means now what happens in the absence of oxygen? Glucose gives off ethanol, a type of alcohol in general name, okay, plus carbon dioxide plus energy. And in the absence of oxygen in our muscle cells, okay, the process of respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen, in which glucose breaks into alcohol and carbon dioxide with the release of energy, it takes place in yeast cells basically. This equation is for yeast cells, but when such respiration occurs in our muscle cells also, human beings muscle cell, then it breaks the glucose into lactic acid with the release of energy. So that accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles makes us go through the cramp. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Note this down.
Ma'am, can you explain like anaerobic respiration once again? Like without oxygen, how does the like respiration takes place?
Because there is lack of oxygen, so rest means glucose is still breakdown. Glucose will break down itself with a limited supply of oxygen, but 6 molecules of oxygen will not be released out. 6 molecules of carbon dioxide will not be released out, and we'll be getting lactic acid. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, I'll show you this via video. Okay, that how does it takes place. You note this down first.
Ma'am, like the whole part, Arabic, the
Pardon?
process of respiration.
Hmm?
The whole part.
Hmm.
Ma'am, should we write this glucose, carbon dioxide plus water plus
Yes.
energy?
Yeah. This sky blue part, the equations also you are supposed to write down. Noted?
Oh, ma'am, 1 second.
No, ma'am.
I'm done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Ma'am, 1 second.
Done, ma'am.
Should I change the slide? Everyone.
1 minute, ma'am.
Ma'am, 1
Yes,
minute.
ma'am.
Ma'am, done.
Examples of aerobic respiration, the organisms which carries out aerobic respiration are animals, plants, fungi, and bacteria. You can simply write example. Okay, should I stop sharing?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
1 second. Yes, ma'am.
Animals, plants, fungi, and bacteria. And after watching the video, you will tell me what is anaerobic respiration and examples of it.
Ma'am, even humans are aerobic, right?
Even?
Ma'am, we can also write humans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it will take some time to start. Till then, you see this. Muscle cramps and relief. Someone please read it out. Shritesh, read it out, please.
Muscle cramps occur when there's anaerobic respiration taking place in our muscles. During anaerobic respiration, glucose gets converted into lactic acid, which leads to lack of oxygen. A hot water bath or a massage can help in getting relief from the muscle cramps. These two things improve blood circulation, thereby increasing the supply of oxygen to the muscles.
Because of lack of oxygen, glucose gets oxidized a little bit, means like you can say glucose has gained little bit of oxygen, so it only helps glucose to conversion to energy. The energy released will be lesser in anaerobic, in this case of uh, in muscle cramping, as compared to aerobic respiration, and no carbon dioxide will be released, where will lactic acid will be released as a product. So to get relief from the cramps, what can we do? Because that area has accumulated with the lactic acid formation, and we need the flow of blood, because blood is carrying oxygen and energy. So we need hot water bath so as to circulate the blood more and more, and we'll get relief.
So, ma'am, does it mean like the blood circulation, or does it like decrease in that case?
Decrease?
Like the blood circulation, right? Like during anaerobic respiration, does the blood circulation decrease?
Yeah, yes.
Ma'am,
Okay.
blood clots at that area.
Just a minute.
I was underwater. I just didn't realize I was underwater. If you're stressed about your paper, just say Grammarly.
Ma'am,
Just a minute, I'm sharing the video.
Every organism needs energy to survive. For human beings, food is the source of energy, and it requires oxygen to release this energy. Respiration is the process by which the body obtains and utilizes oxygen to produce energy inside a human's body. There are 3 steps of respiration in humans. Breathing is the process of moving air into and out of the lungs to facilitate gas exchange with the internal environment. This brings in oxygen from the air and flushes out carbon dioxide. Internal respiration is the exchange of substances between blood and cells, whereas cellular respiration is the release of energy from food substances in living cells. Today, we will discuss cellular respiration only. Cellular respiration. There are 2 kinds of cellular respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic respiration is the process by which oxygen-breathing creatures turn fuel, such as fats or sugars, into energy by the help of oxygen. The key organelle inside cells of aerobic respiration is the mitochondria, where the glucose molecule from the food goes through a multi-step process, such as glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain. At the end of this multi-step process, 1 molecule of glucose, with the help of 6 molecules of oxygen, can produce 36 molecules of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, along with 6 carbon dioxide molecules and 6 water molecules. This makes aerobic respiration a very efficient process. All multicellular organisms and some yeast can carry this type of respiration. Aerobic respiration is needed by many processes in our body to run properly. Muscle contraction, such as in limbs, cardiac, and peristaltic motion, need the ATP generated through respiration as their fuel. Formation of peptide bonds in protein synthesis, the synthesis of chromosome and cell membranes, cell division in growth, transmission of nerve impulse along the axon by transporting sodium ions in and out of the membrane, and regulation of body temperature are all powered by the aerobic respiration. The examples of anaerobic respiration are alcoholic fermentation, lactic acid fermentation, and process rigorous muscular activity. Alcoholic fermentation is carried out in plants and some yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which sugar is broken down to release energy. 1 molecule of glucose turns into 2 ethanol, 2 carbon dioxide, and energy of 2 ATP is released. This process is an economically important process that is used in bread making and brewing beer and wine. Some bacteria, such as Lactobacillus bulgaricus, cause milk to turn sour and form yogurt. The bacteria feed on sugar, which is then converted into lactic acid and energy. This energy is also equivalent to 2 ATP. The bacteria turn glucose into 2 lactic acid and energy of 2 ATP. In human beings, during strenuous activity, breathing is not able to provide sufficient oxygen for respiration. Muscles experience a shortage of oxygen, so the aerobic process becomes anaerobic. This change causes formation of lactic acid. Accumulation of lactic acid causes muscular cramps and fatigue as a safety measure to protect the muscle cells. Rapid breathing after the activity helps to repay debt by increasing oxygen in the muscles, thus converting the process back to aerobic.
So now can you explain what is anaerobic respiration? Because that is your homework. You have to explain anaerobic respiration with example.
Okay.
Okay? Fine. We'll meet in the next class. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.